Well, welcome back to In the Word with Libby, our study on the life of Christ. So now we're going to move into a new section, and this next section is going to talk about God's great gift to mankind. So as we dive into this next section of the study of the life of Christ, a verse that we need to put into our memory will be found in Luke chapter 2, verse 11, which says, "For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord." Now, gifts are great. The best gift giving time of the year, in fact, is Christmas. The greatest gift ever given was God's gift of Jesus, which expressed once and for all God's great love for humanity. John 3:16 puts it this way: "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." As with all gifts, people respond to God's gift in a variety of ways. Some respond with joy, others respond with disgust, some respond with apathy, which is that so what attitude. Some respond with fear. Others respond with doubt. And there are others who even respond with rebellion. So over these next 5 segments, we're going to examine the circumstances surrounding Jesus's birth and how people responded to his birth back during that day and time. So how do you respond to this birth? How do you respond to the birth of Jesus? Now, St. Nicholas was an actual person who was so inspired by the birth of Jesus that he spent his life serving others. His reputation for generosity spread throughout the region in which he lived during the 3rd and 4th centuries. That area is currently the country of Turkey. And the story of how he would disguise himself and offer presents to needy children spread among the people of Nicholas's day. According to the legend, Nicholas gave all he had, living a life of poverty. Now, over the years, people have embellished the story of St. Nicholas, giving him a red suit, reindeer, a sleigh, and even a North Pole address. The real history of the man has been obscured, but what matters is that the story of St. Nicholas offers us an example of a heartfelt response to the birth of Jesus. Because he lived a Christ-like life, Nicholas touched the whole world. This same Christ-like mindset and a servant-oriented lifestyle is how we are to respond to the birth of Jesus. We will be looking at different responses to the world-changing event of the birth of Christ. What is your response? So let's begin checking out God's greatest gift to mankind. We will begin reading in Luke chapter 1. And again, I'm reading from the King James Version of the Bible. We're going to look at Luke chapter 1, verses 1 through 7. "For as much as many have taken in hand to set forth in order a declaration of those things which are most surely believed among us, even as they delivered them unto us, which from the beginning were eyewitnesses and ministers of the word. It seemed good to me also, having a perfect understanding of all things from the very first, to write unto thee in order, most excellent Theophilus, that thou mayest know the certainty of those things wherein thou hast been instructed. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judah, a certain priest named Zacharias of the course of Abia, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord blameless. And they had no child, because that Elizabeth was barren, and they both were well stricken in years. So our first stop is at the home of the innkeeper who had no room for Mary and Joseph. Imagine God Himself, the Savior of the world, being born right under the nose of the innkeeper. His response, sorry, I don't have any more in the room. I don't have any more room. I'm full. Yes, I know that the words of the innkeeper were never officially recorded, but we can make an educated guess about what he said. Now, he probably wasn't mean. He may have even been very polite. Isn't that like a lot of us? Jesus, you're great and all. I'm glad you're here. But right now, I'm just too busy with other activities and relationships in my life to make room for you. I'll come and see you on Sundays, maybe even Wednesdays, if that's okay with you. Jesus wants to be Lord of all of you. Will you make room for Jesus? What is God saying to you today? Thank you. We'll see you at the next session.